Pucker up, baby, because we have a sour showdown.
Simmons
is old!
He should have been out of the game years ago, but he can't go home because he hates his wife. You've seen her at the Christmas parties.
She's the one that gets plastered and calls him a retard!
Will Garvey, Will,
Yep.
Thank you for being on, dude. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. I've been looking very forward to a show like this for quite some time because we're talking about my most favorite style of beer, and I think, Will, is this one of your more
It's
favorite
probably
styles?
one of my favorites. I usually go with a little bit darker stout, but I brought a nice stout that's also a sour.
If you can find liquid warheads, that's what I want in a beverage. And that's what I think I brought, and he thinks he brought his favorite, so...
I brought one that's a little bit more of a traditional sour or a wild beer.
So what we're going to do here today, guys, is a little different than previous episodes. We're going to have a face-off of sorts between these two beers. We're going to talk about the taste, we're going to talk about how sour it is, and then we're going to talk lastly to find a winner between these two. My goal is that we can find a clear-cut winner as to what we pick over these. The winner of this is going to go kind of in a bracket for future episodes to find the most sour yet best tasting beer that we have on Let's Talk Some Beer. You excited for this?
I'm more excited as we go on. This is great.
To make things a little more fair, we're gonna have a coin toss to see which one of these that we start with first. We'll do
try
that.
We'll try.
We'll do it like that. Hopefully, we're gonna start with 9 heads.
You got tails.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
Will, what do we got here today, my man?
Madrugada Obscura. And I'm pretty sure I have to flick a wand when I say the name of this beer. Hermione's gonna correct me in some way. It is a Jolly Pumpkin beer. It's brewed in Dexter, Michigan. It is an 8.1 ABV. It is pretty good, and it is not real on the thick side too, as far as a stout, because it is a sour beer. It's open fermented, oak barrel aged, then they re-ferment it to make it have that flavor. I'm very excited to share this beer with you. Definitely see it as definitely a dark beer.
This is a sour?
This is a sour, or a wild beer, as they would call it.
Cheers, my man.
Cheers.
Ooh.
It's definitely not like a sour, like pucker.
But there is a pucker aspect to it for a
definitely has
stout.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious about this beer because, wow,
It's very good.
very confusing because I look at it, I expect stout, I smell it, not too strong on the smell of sour from it, but from the taste, it's devilishly tart and a bit of a pucker factor for sure.
Again, the pucker is why he's slurring his words, not the beer we had before. I think it tastes really good. It has some definite unique flavors to it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a bad aftertaste. It goes down pretty smooth. I definitely love the smell because it does smell a little bit like a stout, but you definitely smell that tartness of a sour. This 8.7.
Yeah, for this being 8.7, that's really surprising as well too. I would
You
not
don't
have
taste
expected
it.
that. Yeah.
You don't taste it.
Yeah. It's a really interesting blend of, I could just base this solely on the fact that it's a stout had you not told me it's a sour, but at the same time, if you just said the word sour in front of me, I would have focused on that. So usually when I think of sours, I think more of like tropical, I think citrus, I think fruit. When sour to me typically in any candy of sorts is a fruity, citrusy type of like, pucker effect from that. But there's something about this that's like, it's got like this almost coffee taste to it. It's got a really good mouthfeel inside of it as well too. The back end though, at the same time, when I do swallow, I'm not really having the taste linger too long back there. It's more front flavor up here, and then when I'm done, it's kind of gone, which is okay.
It's not like a thick stout, like you're drinking like a milk stout of some kind. It's definitely real thin and refreshing at the same time. Unlike some stouts where I wouldn't say they're refreshing.
Yep. For it being a stout, to say the word refreshing is just, again, it's just kind of like what does that mean? Like, I don't think of a stout as refreshing. I'm never a big fan of rating scales, but let's do it for this. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say for sour?
It's more on a tart than it is a sour. So I'd say it's probably pretty low. I'd say it's in the maybe 3-4 range.
Really? Okay. I would probably give this closer to like a mid-tier, about 5 or 6 actually. So this is pretty sour from what I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be this sour for the description of it especially. So with that, let's get to round 2 actually.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna bring out what I brought here today. This is called L'Amour en Cage. This is from New Belgium Brewing Company. This is a 7.5 ABV. L'Amour en Cage is French for love in a cage, describing the paper-like husk cradling the inside fruit. The beer is a unique golden sour matured in a foeder for 9 months and re-fermented on golden gooseberries for 3 months. Puckeringly sour and fruit forward. It's love in a cage, parentheses, bottle. This is, for me so far, the most sour beer I've ever had. So I can't wait for you to
I'm pretty excited.
wrap your lips around this sucker here. So, yeah.
Oh! Oh!
I've had these before and I've never seen that happen. Usually it's
That
just
was impressive. That was impressive. That scared me more than the haunted house I went to last night.
Actually. So again, this is round 2. That's this guy right here, the L'Amour en Cage. And
Like Luke Cage. Got it.
bucker up, man. Cheers.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Right when it hits you. Right there. Pulls the cheeks in. I feel like I got dimples now.
Oh my god. You know that photo of the Warheads guy that he's like that?
Exactly like that.
Immediately I hit that right then and there.
It's very good. It's got a very good flavor.
Mm-hmm. It's brewed with golden gooseberries, and this is the first I've had a beer with golden gooseberries. I don't know if I've ever had a golden gooseberry.
I don't even know where you
prior to
get
this.
golden gooseberries.
But nonetheless, if that's what it is, great. I want a lot of them. Do you find it sweet? I don't find it very sweet. It's just straight up just tart,
Absolutely.
sour.
Very tart, very sour. And it's got a good carbonation to it as well. Ooh. Yeah, it's definitely got some bubble.
Yeah, yes, it does. Not as much as like, let's say like a champagne of sorts, but
you can see the bubbles lingering still.
it's bubbly. It's bubbly.
If we're on a 1 to 10 scale, it's I'm gonna say it's probably in the 8 to 9 range.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna rate this closer to like a 9 to 10.
Ooh, top
Yeah.
of the charts.
Top of the charts there. Seriously.
On the back of this, it does say some pretty interesting things about this, about the sour level. Right now, it gives it on a 1 to 11 scale, so they take it up to 11. And if you age it longer, it becomes more sour.
Really?
More sour. I usually can't wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
I want to drink it immediately.
So, we've had both, but I feel like we have to find a winner. So with that, we're gonna pour a little bit of each
A little bit more.
at this point. All right.
I feel like even though with the cleanse, my taste buds are a little bit tainted with this super sour beer going to that.
Going back to this here?
tastes like there's no sour in there at all.
No, you're exactly right with that, because after doing the L'Amour en Cage, going back to this, it almost just tastes like a regular stout now at this point. The sour that I first tasted at the beginning of this, when this was what we first went into, is no longer there, which I'm kind of glad that we started with this.
Yeah, that worked out perfect.
Because,
so then you could really taste it, because we would
appreciate
not
it.
have tasted it at all if we had gone the other way.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely tastes more malty than it did before.
It's still very good. It's a very complex flavor. Going from that to this.
Oh, you drank it a little bit too fast. Got right up your nose.
No, it's so it's so sour, Will. But does that mean it's the best?
Complexity, I would say there's a lot more flavor in the Obscura, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You taste the malty, you definitely taste the barrel agedness of that beer. Maybe this one's having a little bit of a better flavor. I'm gonna go with this one.
I do think for the sake of the sour, I think this has it. I
Man.
think the lemon
Right in the
cake.
cheeks.
Yeah.
Right in the cheeks.
Let me get that sweat off you. So, our first sour off. This, fare thee well. L'Amour en Cage is our winner for today, and we're gonna keep drinking it. And I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't think I'm gonna. Oh, you already finished yours, so here.
Well, I was excited.
Will, I want to thank you so much for starting on
Absolutely.
something that's going to be an awesome future endeavor. There's going to be so many more episodes of sours. There's going to be some of stouts. There's going to be some of porters. But thank you for being on the first one.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
As always, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did like, please subscribe. Please like. Please share with a friend. Have a beer while you're watching this, as always. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, sir. You got nothing in there, but...
I got excited again.